this game took me by surprise. I didn't play it at launch because I got caught up with it on December, mostly because we were told that there is no pay to win in Torchlight up until the last day. So of course, that news started off badly. And I will talk about the pay to nothing basically later in this video, but as you know, I don't linger on stuff for too long, and I played Torchlight anyway, because you never know. And neither did I, but now I do. So hopefully I can explain to you what a month in this game looks like, so that you can decide for yourself if it's worth putting your valuable time on this game. Boys and girls, men and women, Torchlight Infinite is about to be reviewed by me. And not only will I say what I feel about this game as a standalone game, since I don't think this is anything like Torchlight 1, 2 or 3 at all. It looks the same, but it does not play the same. And the feeling is definitely not the same. But is that bad? Well, at first glance this game is simple, but was Torchlight 1, 2, 3 meant to be hard? You might feel that it seems like a less professional ARPG due to the graphics, and you'd be somewhat right. The Torchlight series never went out to make a dark, grim world. They were more inclined to fix the loot system, the gear and so on. So what I wanted to know was, does Torchlight Infinite focus on the same thing? The game does play very nice on the mobile, and the initial impacts the attacks does are better than what you might have expected. The cracks, the whooshing sound, as well as all the explosions is masterfully done. The sound, the ambience is overall very nice. I do wish I could turn off my hero statements, cause it's a bit annoying to hear.
Wimp! A hearty Valga battle indeed. Never felt better.
All the time. Please get us a function to opt this off. I know that you can remove the voices in settings, but yeah, I kinda want the other voices to play out and just not hear my character. And thinking back to Torchlight 1 and 2, this is very different. And it's good for me at least. Because I played Torchlight with friends back in the days. I never felt that was fun to play alone, but I did enjoy playing Diablo 1 alone and Diablo 2 alone. I mean, it was more fun playing with people, but when the people weren't there, then it was still fun. I never felt that about Torchlight. Now Torchlight Infinite do not make you feel alone. There's always areas where you see people run around, and it kind of feels like a living universe. And I personally only set myself to play this alone, so far. And the game is fun. So I have to be honest, as always, and the start of the game is slow. Not the leveling part, but the overall feeling. It's not because of the story or the quest, you know, the quests are boring or tedious, because they're not. It's kind of hard to pinpoint the reason, but I think I know what it is. And if I'm wrong, or if you have other reasons, then let me know that in the comments. But the biggest reason for this game to feel slow is the bosses in the game. The fact that if you fail downing a boss, you can just revive and go back to it without it has recharged its health. This might be a blessing to others, but I feel it gives a feeling of not want to be too hard. And if the reason is that the game only starts at endgame, so they make bosses easy, then yeah, that's the reason. Rush to the endgame. But personally, I feel that if a boss is too hard, or that your gear is too bad, you just grind more and try again later. That's one of the progresses that you work for and really enjoy when you finally make it. In Torchlight Infinite, you just re-enter as much as you like, even if you just do one hit at a time, and the boss will finally go down. As I said, it's personal, but I don't really support that type of gameplay. It's boring, and the mere reason you would want to do this act is to get past the current area. And as I said before, this indicates that you in a way are in a type of rush to get to the endgame. And maybe that is because the game is not fun or meant to be played or enjoyed. Until then, you do have a penalty for dying that makes you lose experience, and at higher levels, this is something you want to avoid. But up to this point, this is nothing you care about. But the gameplay is fun. Even at mid levels, I felt I enjoyed the game. The monsters, the packs are fun, the mechanics are interesting, and more on maps later. I did feel that I was not keen on identifying all the stuff I got. I only did that when the monsters began to be tougher. So that left me with not really caring for what I got as drops. And that is some wasted opportunities for the game or the developers. As you progress the main story, you will get familiar with the story. I felt it was interesting for a while, but due to bosses and the way loot was handled during this phase, at times I just wanted to skip the dialogues. But there were some cool areas that the story drew you in on. And if you're a lore fan, then this game does have a lot of cutscenes with interesting characters and a plot. In Torchlight Infinite, you can choose among 5 unique heroes. Yes, heroes. There's no customization. You just play one of these characters and you follow the story. Nothing bad about that, but I prefer to build my own story. But we all know that this game is not about story. It's about skills, talents, gear and loot. And in the end, what you do is farm for those top gears and you push those levels. The game has over 200 skills that you can mix and match with, auras, support skills and more. I do love this concept, and the game can let you ponder builds all day long. And this is really good. And it's even better with the talent tree as well as the hero pack of your choosing. I really love this part of the game. It's easy enough to understand and it's intricate enough to mix and match. I think the boon pets are okay, though having bonuses that they do and mix that with the gacha stuff is a lesser good thing in my book. I don't dislike others to buy power, because I know that I would never be number 1 in a mobile game, with money or with time. And this lets me enjoy most of the games that I play. If you want that feeling too, then check my other videos on how to enjoy games and avoid killing the feeling too quick. Most games today take a week to be boring, and it's not you. Most games are developed like this, so that you then use your wallet to enhance the fun. And as I said, check my channel out and subscribe if you want to be up to date with tips on how to face these toxic games. Cause we all need games that don't waste our time. And the most important is the gameplay. And Torchlight Infinite's gameplay and how you progress the hero is very good. So what I feel in the game regards to the loot system is that overall it's good, but it's also very well planned. The fact that legendaries are quite rare is great, cause we all like the feeling of seeing a legendary drop. But if it drops too frequent, then that quickly becomes boring. And what I don't like is the lack of different legendaries in Torchlight. I often get the same ones, and to be honest, that kinda puts me off a bit. But the game is still new, and frequent updates and legendaries will most likely be plentiful. And I would not see this as an issue anymore. But besides that, the gear progression is good, it follows your level, and you're in a kinda nice area where you always feel overpowered while running the main story. And as I said before, the skills packs a punch. I dare to say that whatever build you build early on will be good enough to clear the early maps. That is amazing. The progress you do in the Netherrealm is for the account, so it's not for the character. This is good if you want to make more characters, then you don't need to like level up the Netherrealm all the time, but you do need to do the story quest of course. As you clear maps you will finally get a realm boss, and defeating that one will get you a higher tier. This makes the Netherrealm rise in level, and you can farm for the harder content. And as you climb to even harder content, you will unlock the Plain Watchers. This is even bigger bosses, and killing those will let you get to the Realm Lord, and yeah. This is a lot of farming, so you have many evenings in front of you here. And I like this way. It's not too hard to get into, and it's definitely not too easy further ahead. Torchlight also have a card system which makes you able to somewhat focus your farming into different things. It's a very cool idea, and it's apparent that developers have been thinking about what would work best. So people who claims that this game is pay to win as Diablo, give me a fucking break. It is obvious that a lot of people read stuff and then just spread that rumor around. The pay to win here is slim to average, nothing that sticks out, and there is tons of games that push this harder. I can just say that stop being sad about not being able to put all your free time and try to be the best. The idea is to have fun, not to be the best and bully people with less power. Cause that is what I've seen that many top players do. Just knock it off, man. I never felt, and I don't still feel, that I even need to buy the extra stash tabs. Compared to Undecember, where I felt I needed it the first day. And I still like Undecember a lot. The games are quite similar with the stash tabs, and here in Torchlight, you can buy or gamble for stronger pets. That is not even needed. And Undecember lets you use your real money to buy gear on the auction house. That's definitely not needed. I say play this game for free, And if you want to support the devs, then buy a stash tab or a skin or an effect. There's nothing more to think about. So what would I change in this game? And honestly, I wouldn't change much really. The game feels like a well-polished game and they have thought about pretty much everything. I would add more legendaries, but that will of course come with updates. And I would definitely have it so that the characters change appearance as you put on different armor pieces. But we're not playing characters here. We are following heroes, and this is what they wear. I have a good time when I play this game, and I feel no rush whatsoever to pay for anything. It has actually pulled me from on December at times, because I wanted to play this one. It's annoying to always click away the pop-ups in the beginning of every login. That kinda reminds me of Raid Shadow Legends. Oh yeah, so this is kinda a thing that I wanna change. We don't need that. The progress as well as how the game runs on my phone is nothing but good. And I can recommend this game to casual and new players of the ARPG genre. The game can feel easy at times, but while that is not necessarily a bad thing, it does give that younger audience vibe. But that is definitely not correct. If you want to farm the end game hardcore here, it's not gonna be easy. And it will demand a lot of your time. And if you see my video about Torchlight versus on December, you might know that I was a bit angry at Torchlight upon release, but I knew that I had to eventually check this game out again, and I'm actually happy I did. But this also shows that crossing the player base with promises and not living up to it does hurt the companies in the long term. But thanks to a great team of developers who clearly see what an ARPG need, we do have a great game here. And I see you guys again.